What if you brought Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 to life? Raw, real, and brutal. This is a short cinematic fight scene inspired by the world of Kingdom Come. But here's the twist. It wasn't created by a big studio. It was made by 6 creatives doing the work of 30 people. We shot primarily on Sony a7 IV with a few intense POV shots on action cam Insta360 A0 II. Every frame was designed to feel immersive, cinematic, yet grounded. We chose a historically fitting location, one that could easily exist in the world of the game, to keep the atmosphere raw and authentic. And we went a step further, blending elements from the game itself into our shots. And the result? A hybrid between gaming and cinema. Familiar, but also fresh.
Kameraden, akce.
I gave the initial concept to Peppa, our swordmaster, who crafted the core strikes and sequences. I then adjusted the flow, balancing timing, energy, and those classic film poses that make a fight feel real. Directing while being in front of the camera, not easy. That's why we did 5 training sessions, not just for the performers, but for our entire crew to dial in movement, camera flow, and rhythm. Our cinematographer, Mara, brought his vision and skill to frame every hit, every breath, and every beat with precision. Now, post-production, that's where the real marathon began. Dan took on the role of an entire post team, editing, graphics, color grading, visual effects. That's usually 6 departments. Here, just one guy, one vision, and very little sleep.
When I first got the footage, I knew this wouldn't be a typical edit. It wasn't a short film with dialogue and long takes. This was a 4-minute non-stop medieval fight full of movement, chaos, and detail. Everything was edited in the free version of DaVinci Resolve, which might sound limiting, but with the right approach, it's incredibly powerful. I handled every part of the timeline, selecting takes, syncing, cutting for flow, pacing the beats, and matching the action across over 140 individual shots. The biggest challenge wasn't just stitching the scenes together, it was creating rhythm. Fights have to breathe. There is dance to them. Tension, pressure, impact, reset. My job was to make sure the viewer never gets lost, but also never relaxes too much. We filmed out of sequence across a full day, which means lighting, continuity, and actor positioning constantly shifted. One of the most difficult moments was reconstructing temporal continuity, making sure it felt like one seamless encounter, even when scenes were shot hours apart. And when it works, you don't even notice the edit. And that's the ultimate goal, to create an experience that pulls the viewer in without ever showing the strings. All the visual effects were created directly in Fusion inside DaVinci Resolve. No external plugins, no paid tools, just creative problem solving and a lot of keyframes. Some effects are designed to be seen, like the decapitation shot, which is obviously the most graphic moment. But most of what I did lives in the background. Subtle layers that you're not supposed to notice, but that completely change how the scene feels. I'm talking about invisible visual effects, keying out lav mics under medieval costumes, adding blood splatters, sparks from blade clashes, and even tiny debris particles when a sword hits the wood. Camera shake, radial blur, motion trails, and micro adjustments to enhance each strike. One of the most complex scenes involved a continuity problem. The actor who appears at the beginning of the fight had already left by the time we filmed the ending. So we shot his reaction in the morning, and later that day filmed our hero swinging the axe into empty space. In post, I use precise compositing, stabilization, and light matching to blend both shots to make it feel like they were both there at the same time. It's the kind of edit most viewers won't even realize, but if it weren't seamless, it would instantly break immersion. For the decapitation, I didn't rely on gore for shock. Instead, I focused on weight and physics, the body reaction, the delayed blood burst, the drop shadow, all carefully animated to feel grounded and physical. What makes visual effects really powerful isn't just how flashy it is, it's how well it hides itself. When done right, your brain believes it, even if your eyes don't consciously register the trick. One of our goals from the beginning was to blur the line between a cinematic short film and actual gameplay experience. To do that, I created in-game UI elements from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I started with official Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 logo, broke it down into separate layers in Photoshop, then rebuilt it in Fusion to give it depth, lighting, and motion. I gave the surface a metallic, blood-stained texture, not just for style, but to reflect rawness of the scene. The idea wasn't just to reference the game, it was to create a hybrid experience. We wanted fans to feel like they're stepping out of console into something real. When it came to color grading, our vision was clear from the start. The scene had to feel cold, brutal, and unforgiving. We shot everything in S-Log 3 with the S-Gamma 3 Cine, which gave me a flat, flexible image to work with. The challenge? It was a bright sunny day on location, but the final look needed to feel like a late afternoon before storm. Aesthetic versus reality, and that's where the grading comes in. I created a cool desaturated medieval palette with muted greens, deep shadows, and slightly dry texture to skin tones. The world needed to feel stripped from warmth, like it was slowly bleeding out. Every character in the scene was graded separately using masks and tracked power windows. That allowed me to fine-tune that exposure, contrast, and tonality without affecting the environment around them. In some shots, the actor is treated as one layer, and the forest behind him as another. The blood, for example, was a story element on its own. The director wanted the blood to feel wet, fresh, and visceral, so I selectively boosted its red channel, adding slight specular glints, and gave it a tone closer to liver blood than bright fake red. The grading evolves with the narrative. The opening frames are a bit lighter, calmer, but as the fight escalates, so does the tone. Shadows deepened, saturation drops, and by the end you feel like light has left the forest, not just physically, but emotionally. People often underestimate how much of a fight scene is actually built through sound. Without it, no matter how good the footage is, it just doesn't land.
Of course, none of this would have been possible without our extended team. Tomáš Dvořák is our costume consultant, weapons and armor from Peppa and the awesome folks at Bordieri, time period props from Funes Barandov, and makeup done by my talented girlfriend. All of this, every sword swing, every shot, every drop of fake blood, was made for just around $650. To make this with a professional crew and a full production value, that's at least $6,500 to $8,000. So why are we telling you this? Because we want to go even further. If you believe in supporting young creatives, film action, and historical storytelling with Byte, join us. Partner with us, sponsor us through link in the description.
We didn't have a full team, we didn't have a budget, but what we did have was obsession and the skills to make it work. If you watched the scene and thought, that was intense, brutal, real, then we did our job.
Thanks for watching, and remember, you don't need a massive budget to create something epic. You just need a vision, obsession, and a team of creative maniacs who never take no for an answer.